Hello everyone, this is Aryan from More Than Just a Game, and this is another chapter on our Unreal Engine 0 to Hero tutorial series. In this chapter, we will cover the asset types that exist in Unreal Engine and the ones that you most likely need as a beginner, because there are a lot of asset types in Unreal Engine, and we will just cover the most common ones. So for starters, we have static meshes. Let's see some examples of static meshes. So we can have like a sphere. This is just a mesh. It doesn't have any animation. You can assign materials to it, but it doesn't have any I don't know, bones or animations or anything like that. Or maybe a more advanced one would be this chair. This is also a static mesh, and no parts of it can be moved individually. But in addition to static meshes, we have skeletal meshes. These are the meshes that can be moved basically. So let's open one of them up. So as you can see, this is composed of different bones. So you can change the position or rotation of each bone individually. Yeah, let's move closer to this. As you can see, you can move it around, and this is basically how you do animations. Or maybe you might want to give your character or your skeletal mesh a specific pose, so you would have to change the location or rotation of the bones to achieve whatever you want. And then you can have sockets added to basically any of the bones. For instance, we have the head bone. We can add a socket. We can call it a hat, and then we can add a preview asset to it. So we can basically just add a hat static mesh to this, but we don't have that thing in our project right now. So I'm just gonna add something silly like this cone. And then you can, in your code, you can assign any sort of basically mesh that you want. This is more related to blueprints, but you can have any sort of mesh you want assigned to this socket. This is mostly used for, I don't know, clothing. You can have like character customization. You can add, I don't know, gloves. You can add boots. You can add hats to your character. You can add a socket to their hand, so you can assign a weapon to that socket, so it looks like the character is holding a weapon. So yeah, that's it about skeletal meshes. Then we have blueprints, which we will have a more extended tutorial on, but basically you can see an example right over here. This is our character blueprint. This is where the logic of anything that you want, any mechanics that you want, is applied. But this is a bit more advanced than what we are covering right now, so it will have its own extended tutorial. Then we have textures. Textures are basically just, you can call them images. Let's see an example here. Yeah, this is basically just a sample texture. This is the texture of our character, and then there are various types of textures. This is a diffuse texture. As you can see at the end, it says D because it's a diffuse. We have some masks, we have normal maps, and basically different types of textures. And as you can see, this doesn't look much like our character, because something called UV mapping is used to basically assign different parts of this texture to different parts of your character. And then this is used in a material. This is the next basically um, asset type that we will discuss. This is actually a material instance. This one is a material, As you can see, it's kind of complex if you want to have an advanced material, but this is basically where you would say what different textures should take care of. So basically we may have like emissive. This is how much light it should emit. In this example, it's set to a variable that can be set in the material instances that are created from this material. But basically, if we say the emissive is 10, it would basically emit a lot of light. 10 is not really ideal because it emits a lot of light. But yeah, basically you can play around to see what kind of emissive light you want to have. Let's change it back to what it was. There are normal maps. Normal maps are used for basically saying how much up and down it should go on the surface of that mesh that you want to assign this material to. And yeah, basically the materials can be a lot more advanced than what it is in here. And it can get really complex, but this is the basics of what materials exactly are. Then the next data type that we have, asset type that we have, is animations. So yeah, we have animation sequences. As you can see, this is basically the animation sequence for falling. I also have forgotten to basically get rid of that preview asset I assigned. Okay, yeah, this is the animation sequence for falling. When you're falling from a height and you haven't landed yet, this is the idle animation. As you can see, you can check the frames here and see what position the character has at any frame, and basically it goes on like this. There are a lot of animations by default in Unreal Engine, and then all of them come together in an animation blueprint. This is basically where the logic for playing animations happens. So it would know when we are jumping, it should play the jump animation. This is where all of that happens, but this is again a blueprint, so we'll have a more extended tutorial of this. Then we have sound assets, audio assets. These are basically just simple audio that can be imported as sound waves. I don't think we have any samples in here. Okay, let's check. We have an audio filter. Okay, we actually have some sample audio in the content, in starter content. These are basically just sound waves, and then you can make sound cues from sound waves just like this, so you can more easily and more scalably use them in your blueprints. And then lastly we have maps, or you may call them levels. As you can see right over here, we have a map. This is what we have open right now. In here you can create a new map. From here you can create a new map from here and choose a template for your map. But yeah, that's it. That's all the beginner asset types that you may come across as you are making your game. So we will go through them one by one again. The static meshes, the skeletal meshes, blueprints, textures, materials, animations, sound waves, and levels. So yeah, these are the asset types. If you have any more questions about any of them, or about any asset type that we haven't discussed in this video, feel free to ask us in the comments, and have fun.